What is going on, everybody? I'm Brandon Castellanos, and as we mentioned in our changes video, reviews are something we want to start doing on our channel. And what better way to start off than to review this blast from the past.
Upon opening the box, you'll see a manual, which can also act as a poster. The other side will have instructions for setup, a mini power brick, a controller, two controllers actually, an HDMI cable, and a power cable. Last but definitely not least is the console. And this thing is tiny. It fits right in the palm of my hand. The power and reset switches serve and work the same way as they did in the original. The material feels the same. The only difference is this hidden compartment where you connect the controllers. Setup is pretty straightforward too.
I'm not going to touch up on every game on this system, but I do want to get into the ones that I grew up playing as a kid and were the reason I wanted to go out and buy this in the first place.
Before I jump into the games, I do want to show you all the startup menu. You'll of course pick your language, all the games are laid out for you, there are tabs up here that serve different functions, and if you go to display here, you'll have aspect ratio options, a filter, and frame options if you want to add a little more color to the borders. Okay, on to the games. Here are my top 5. Number 5 goes to Mario Kart. Sure, it's not the smoothest racing game, and if you're like me, you shouldn't race past 50cc class, but this was the first Mario Kart game, and it's nice to go back to its roots and see where it all started. The maps are smaller, the steering is a little stiff, and you may find yourself out of bounds more than you'd like to, but there's a lot of fun to have here, and I'd recommend anyone who hasn't played it to go out and give it a try. Number 4, we have Donkey Kong Country. This is probably my favorite intro, period. You have Cranky Kong minding his own business, listening to his record player, and then bam, you have Donkey Kong dropping in with his stereo like, "No, Grandpa, this is how you do it." And then Cranky Kong retaliates with TNT. It's a little over the top, but I love it. The level design was ahead of its time, the music just fits the atmosphere, you even get a little jingle every time you accomplish something. The controls still hold up, the challenge is still there. If you have not played this game, buy it. Don't deprive yourself of this truly classic Donkey Kong experience. As much praise as I give Donkey Kong Country, I gotta give the number 3 spot to The Legend of Zelda: A Link to the Past. This was my first Zelda game, and I had no idea the adventure it would take me on. The level design, the puzzle solving, the weapons Link could hold, it broke the conventional gaming experience for me. And because of that, it stands as one of my all-time favorite games. What would this list be without Super Mario World? Do I really need to give this game any more credit? It's a classic in its own right, and a game I plan to play for many years to come. If you haven't played it, expect what you'd expect out of a Mario game. A catchy soundtrack, vivid level designs, and memorable boss fights. When I hear the name Super Nintendo, this is the game I think of, Yoshi's Island. Again, Nintendo just being a master with their music, the level design, the creativity. You can be a helicopter, a mole tank. There's little side challenges, whether that be shooting a rightly timed egg into a flower, or a Shy Guy with a 1-up. You gotta deal with Mario's ridiculous cry. This game is a true gem, and one of my all-time favorites.
Well, I hope you all enjoyed that. I did want to go into more detail on some of those games, I just didn't want to rant on too long. There are some games I haven't played, like Contra 3, Mega Man X, and Castelvania IV, so I do plan on giving those a try. And if there are some games you guys recommend me playing, feel free to leave a comment in the comment section below. I will leave a list of the games on this system in the description below. As for the product, I'd give it a solid 9 out of 10. If there are any cons to it, I wish it had every Super Nintendo game, but that's just me being, wanting more. But for the price, the games, you can't beat it, guys. For $79.99, good deal. I'm Brandon Castellanos with Formation Alpha. See you next time.